Whoa. I mean, I say whoa as we welcome you to Nissan. In-game live, Barrett Brooks, Michael Barkann, and a 13-7 Eagles win. I'm not Eagles lead. I'm not saying it was so thrilling that first half, but Barrett Brooks, that last field goal, 61 yards, that matches his career long. He had missed a 55-yarder. That was pretty special. And it went kind of knuckled, went back and forth, and then decided to go right through.
61. That's the ultimate weapon in the NFL right now. Jake Elliott. We had talked about David Akers being that guy. I think that kind of put him and supplanted David Akers as far as being one of the best kickers we've seen in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. That's amazing. 61 yards puts us up. That's exactly what we needed going into halftime. I mean, everything's starting to fall right. We can't think we're going to have these type of blessings for the entirety of the game. We take advantage of what we can and go out this second half and do exactly what we did before. Run the ball consistently, keep our offense on the field. And that's the biggest thing. We need to stay on the field, keep Kirk Cousins off the field, because he's shown the ability to go up there and carve us up a little bit, especially with everybody that's out with injuries right now.
While I understand every game is unto itself, when you look back just 3 days to the opener at New England, was this first half a little bit better, if not scintillating? It seemed like it was a little bit better than the first half offensively, the first half last week.
I'm going to say this, bravo, Brian Johnson, is saying, you know what? Get the ball rolling. If you watch the offensive line, those guys start turning around, looking at Brian Johnson, hey, man, let's keep this going. Call a pass play if you want to. That's what you want to do. That's the most intimidating thing you can do to a defense, is to run the ball on them, and they can't stop them. I mean, it puts you in a mindset like, what are we going to do? Then they start stacking the box. Then you can go to your weapons outside. But if you consistently running the ball, and the way Swift is running it, let's keep doing it. The way Scott is doing it, let's keep doing it. I'm surprised we haven't seen Rashad Penny. Mm-hmm. But at this point, Rashad, I'm not mad you're sitting down right now, because these two are racking up some yards.
He's your
guy. That is my guy.
Rashad, he hadn't even gained a penny.
That was selfish, bro. That was selfish. You know, I said 80 was it 80 yards or 80 yards?
Yeah, I went with DeAndre Swift as one of my, big picks in the pregame show. He's averaging 5.2 yards per carry in 12 attempts, 62 yards, and a long of 12. Boston Scott's in there. Jalen Hurts, obviously. And so the run game, do you think they went to the run, they had planned to do this, or when it got a little tough to pass, did they go that direction?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. One of them big boys up front went to him and said, hey, look, man, we can move these guys around. I'm tired of all this passing. They're not protecting as well as I think they should, and that's a problem. They can't protect, so why not go out there and run the ball? Yes, I'm saying the two tackles aren't holding up as well as I've seen them hold up in the past. I'm just being honest. Yes, we got an all-world guy and the best right tackle in the league, but right now he's having some issues, and I think it's more so the rust. He's trying to shake the rust off. All these guys are rusty on ball, and like I said, last week's post-game show, they're going to have this rust, and you can guarantee you're going to see this game and probably one or two more, at least one more, of the rust in the entirety of this team. So, yeah, they're going to be rusty as they go forward until probably the third or fourth game.
Yeah.
They just haven't had a lot of reps. They haven't had enough reps. It takes a lot to go out there and block a guy, because, when you hit, you make contact, that's when the block starts. And these guys were hitting in practice, and then all the guys like, all right, I got you. That's it. No, you got to finish. And these guys haven't had that mindset to finish, because they haven't had the ability to finish in game-type situations.
All right, let's talk about the quarterbacks, and in particular the Eagles quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And he still doesn't seem quite right. 10 of 13, 84 yards. His passer rating is 61.1, but in fairness, he threw a pick. When you do throw a pick, your passer rating is compromised big time. You look at Kirk Cousins, 13 of 17, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. He's at 119.7. But with regard to Jalen Hurts, what do you make of his struggles out there?
Yeah, but it was a bad pass. It was a bad read. I mean, they caught him in Tampa 2. Tampa 2 is a cover 2 where you got 2 high safeties. The cornerbacks, they kind of play like safeties also, because they get vertical routes. They're going to latch on, and they're going to go straight back and cover those vertical routes. That means everybody is getting deep. Everybody's getting deep, and he goes in the middle of the field and goes deep. In Tampa 2, remember, the inside linebacker drops right back like a safety. So now that's 5 guys that will drop deep, and he throws it exactly into double covers. That's what happened. In fact, that linebacker started out, or safety, whatever he was, started out at the line of scrimmage and ran and hauled behind back in the middle of the field and was able to make a play. That's probably why Jalen didn't see him. Those are the reads you have to be instinctual about. You got to go underneath when you got that type of coverage because there's too many guys dropping back, and you can't really get a clean pass to those guys. So that's his fault. You know what I'm saying? It was the wrong read, the wrong pass, and he went to the wrong guy. Going forward, they changed it around. Now he's making the right decision. Just hand the ball off.
Yeah.
Get your arm used to just handing the ball off. Let them guys continue to rack up and beat up on those defensive linemen and linebackers.
4 turnovers between the teams in the first half. 3 of them belonged to Minnesota. I thought the Eagles could have capitalized a little bit more. I don't know if the Justin Jefferson ball fumbled out of bounds counts as a turnover. I'm assuming it was a turnover.
Yes, it was.
Touchback, and it ultimately ended up in the Eagles' 61-yard field goal. But do you think the Birds capitalized as much as they might have?
Yes, I do. They should have capitalized more, but they couldn't get the ball moving in the first half of the in the first quarter. They couldn't get it moving. They got tired of that and went into the running game. You know, I mean, if you play physical, a physical brand of football, it tends to make us a better team. We want to be physical. You know, Coach Stoutland wants those guys to come off the ball, create double teams, and drive guys off the ball. It's working. It's working the opposite way for the Minnesota defense. I mean, offense. They can't run the ball, which is leading to them passing. In fact, I'm almost saying I wish they run the ball because they are hitting passes and they're short passes because he understands he doesn't have a lot of time to get the ball out. Yeah. But we have so many injuries, which is leaving guys wide open. You know, guys really aren't in place to make plays because they haven't played enough together. There's not a lot of, play calling as far as those guys making the right calls because they haven't been playing together. So this is tough for this team, but they got to fight through it. This is what championship teams do. This is what good teams do. They find a way to make a way out of no way.
Lastly, Justin Jefferson, 5 catches, 57 yards. He had 150 yards in catches last week in their home opener against Tampa Bay. So he's averaging 10-plus yards per catch. He averaged 16.6 yards per catch. And we know how the Eagles held him down in week number 2 last season. If they continue to do this with Justin Jefferson, you'll take it, won't you?
No question. I mean, because at this point, right now, they're meaningless yards. They're not equating to scores. But we're talking about a gifted wide receiver. He can make some things happen. So with all the injuries, like I said, you got to rely on guys you didn't necessarily rely on. So at this point, they're doing an okay job. They got to do a better job with everybody else. They got some players. Addison's a player. TJ Hawkins is a player. And they're going to try to take advantage of those guys when they come out in the second half.
Keith Burns wants to know, we get the ball after half? No, we do not get the ball after half. It'll be Minnesota's ball after half. But with that field goal, I like the Eagles' chances of forcing it over and getting that ball back quickly, don't you?
We're going to have to, and the defense got to step up. And those guys up front got to do it. That's where it's coming. The guys up front got to do it. And, yes, Russ does make a difference in how these guys are playing. If you haven't played football, how do you play football at a high level? Think about it, bro. Think about it.
Russ never sleeps, man.
Erroneous.
Russ never sleeps. Yeah. Remember that. Barrett Brooks on Michael Barkann. Reminder, when the clock hits 0, flip it over to NBC Sports Philadelphia to hear all of Barrett's analysis. Ron Jaworski, Ruben Frank, John Clark in the locker room talking about a huge Eagles win. I can dream, can't I? That'll do it for Nissan In-Game Live. Take it.